So welcome back, guys, into another Trade Idea Explained, and we're going to see Bitcoin today. So this was the trade idea that I was shared on my Telegram, free Telegram, this morning before the Eurozone open market, and we were looking at this huge price area over here, mainly at 60K, 60.50, etc. So I was looking as a scalper the monitor for buys with multiple rejections around this 60, 50, 60 flat, as you can see, for buys as a scalper. And we were looking for sells if we went below this level with confirmations of the buyers in control, of sellers in control, and buyers exhaustion. So let's jump into it. So this was the main idea, trade idea shared, and as you can see here, what we saw during London now is not very clear, but we got some bounces from this level. After reaching 61,200, we then sort of melted to reach and revisit 58 levels, which is this price point. I should zoom out, this price sensitivity area on the left, just to grab liquidity and then almost recovering all the move. If we go on this lower time frame and you see, okay, so that's why I'm saying 6,500, because this PPL has been respected on the dot multiple times. So what we saw is that during the last hours of Asians, during the first few hours of the Eurozone open, we saw a very strong bearish overall trend, but failing to break below 60.50. So what you see is that I'm not telling you to enter these aggressive buys with this candle setup. I don't know now if this is short or yeah. You see this setup and you enter. I don't even know if it will be safe. Possibly not with the spread, but I'm not telling you to enter here, even though this is the candle setup and you identify multiple rejections. But for me, this is too high risk. Why? Because look at how we are making lower highs continuously, and yes, we are making a wedge against this level, yes, but this is not a confirm. This is just insight. It's not a confirm that the bearish trend is going to end anytime soon. As you can see, every time we make a new high, this candle setup, you should actually take sells every time you get to this new high, to this PPL, not the buys. But what you see is that you have further confirmation of buyers jumping in at this level. And what you identify is that you start making new higher lows, higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows. You see that the trend line is broken mainly here. I don't enter in the middle of the PPL, but this is a candle setup, and you see a retracement and fails to make new lows. So we're not making a new low, we're actually making again another bullish attempt. And if you see, this is the candle setup that I also shared in my Telegram as per here, setup backtesting setup. I was not at the chart, but I said, okay, let's see if this candle is the setup. And as you can see, when I shared it, it was not in profit or nothing, but this candle reached your 45 pips take profit with no drawdown at all. But after that, as a scalper, you take these buys, and these buys are because you are to respect your analysis. Buys at the area with multiple rejections. You are seeing the multiple rejections, as you can see, so it makes sense to take buys. If then it was a loss, anyway, it's fine. But this was your idea. You have enough confirms to enter there. But as a scalper, you cannot overlook this price action. Look, after making this new high, how strong the rejection was, and you have multiple, you have also a break and retest of these exact previous lows. So I'm not saying to enter, but these, so if this is the first confirmation, first factor, okay, this is the second one, okay, like this, second one, you either look for setups below this PPL, or like for me it's way better below those previous lows, because you saw how strong this 6500 is. So let me zoom in. What you see is exactly this. You see that price, it breaks below, retests the area again, bounces again. This will be a very high risk, high reward entry. Yes, you are reacting, and here you are reacting at these previous lows. You are not making new highs, but this candle, of course, I don't enter here. When you see the break below, for me the best candle setup was here. When you see that the candle breaks below the PPL, this is my candle setup. For me, is either entering at the first one, or even better, look at this candle, how good it is. You enter here, you suffer a minor drawdown, but short position. Let's see if 15 pips would have been enough, and the take profit doesn't matter. Would have been really, really risky actually. It would have been probably stopped out. So the high volatility would have stopped out your entry if you enter here. If you enter here, you will be probably fine. But but anyway, the idea was still valid. So even if you enter here, it's very, very, I don't like to enter in the middle of, this is a 25 pips candle. You enter when you see further rejection. You might even take, I think, 1 or 2 losses here if you're not careful enough, but you can enter again because you see that price is strongly rejecting. And if you hold then the price, if you enter here, 130 pips, you are more than covered for the losses. And then you see huge recover, liquidity grab, exactly going back to the same area. But look, 60.50 is exactly the price where it reacted again. So I'm not saying that, I haven't been in the chart. You might even think about, okay, this is a good trade following the overall bearish trend. It's not looking good, a price action, but this could have been an entry if you didn't know. If you just were like here. I mean, it's very counter trend because you are not seeing, it's the first step of a counter trend. It would be way better to wait to break below this PPL. Ah, yeah, because this is not a PPL, this is, okay, yeah, no, so no enter here. Because the PPL is this one. Yeah, no entry. No entry for sure. Okay, this is it, guys.